The night I followed him, I always knew my husband, Kofi, was hiding something. Every Friday night, when the moon was bright, he would leave the house without a word. He said he was going to pray, but he never told me where. That night, my heart was burning. I tied my wrapper tight, covered my head, and followed him quietly into the dark. The village was asleep, only dogs barking far away. Kofi walked fast, like someone being called. I kept my distance. Then I saw it. He pushed open the old graveyard gate. My hands began to shake. Why would a living man go where only the dead rest? I hid behind a mango tree and watched, my heart beating like a drum. The graveyard was cold and silent. Even the wind refused to pass there. Kofi walked straight, as if he knew the way very well. Then he stopped beside a fresh grave, the red earth still soft. I saw the white wooden cross with no name written yet. My breath caught in my throat. He looked around to be sure nobody was watching. I pressed myself to the tree, afraid even of my own shadow. Then, to my horror, Kofi picked up a shovel that was lying by the grave. He started to dig. Each sound of metal hitting the soil felt like it was cutting my heart. I covered my mouth so I would not scream. The grave sand flew into the air as Kofi dug deeper and deeper. The moonlight fell on his face and I saw sweat mixing with tears. He was crying. I had never seen my husband cry. That scared me even more. What kind of secret makes a man cry in a graveyard? Finally, he climbed down into the grave. I expected him to pull out a body or a hidden box, but he did something worse. He lay down in the empty grave, stretched his body like he was on our marriage bed, and pulled a black cloth over himself. My legs became weak. My husband, a living man, was sleeping inside a grave. As Kofi lay in the grave, a strange wind rose from nowhere. The trees began to shake, though the sky was clear. I heard whispers, like many voices speaking softly at the same time. I could not understand the words, but I knew they were not human voices. My skin turned cold. I wanted to run, but my feet were stuck to the ground. The wind moved around Kofi's grave, circling it like a snake. Suddenly, his lips began to move. He was talking to someone I could not see. "Forgive me," he whispered. "Just one more year, please." Who was he begging? Who could answer him from the land of the dead? The wind turned and rushed toward the tree where I was hiding. Dry leaves flew into my face. Then I heard it. A clear voice, soft but sharp like a blade. It spoke my name. "Amma," it said. My heart almost stopped. Nobody else was there. Only Kofi and the graves. I froze. The voice sounded like a woman, but not fully human. It was too smooth, too calm for a place like that. "Amma, why are you hiding? Come closer," the voice said again. I wanted to scream for help, but my mouth was dry. Then I realized something even more frightening. Kofi could not hear that voice. It was speaking only to me. Slowly, like my legs no longer belonged to me, I stepped out from behind the tree. The moonlight fell on the graves, making them look like broken teeth. Then I saw her. A woman in a white wrapper stood at the edge of the graveyard. Her feet did not touch the ground. She was glowing softly, like fireflies in the Harmattan night. Her face was beautiful but sad. Her eyes looked like they had seen many years of pain. "Do not be afraid, Amma," she said. "You have already entered this story." I wanted to run back home and lock my door, but there are some doors you cannot close once they are opened. I felt tears on my cheeks. "Who are you?" I whispered. The woman in white floated closer, but the grass under her did not move. "My name does not matter anymore," she said. "What matters is the promise your husband made." I looked at Kofi, still lying in the grave like a dead man. "What promise?" I asked, my voice shaking. She pointed a pale finger at him. "Every Friday, he comes to sleep with the dead so that you may live with the living. He traded his peace for your life." My mind refused to accept her words.
"You are lying," I said. "Why would he do that? I am not sick. I am fine." The woman's eyes became softer. "You were not always fine, Amma. Think back." Memories hit me like a sudden storm. 2 years before, I had fallen sick. My body was hot like fire, my eyes turning yellow. The healer said it was not an ordinary sickness. My breath became short. People started to whisper that the grave was calling my name. I remembered the night I almost died, and then nothing. It was like someone cut part of my life away. Tears filled my eyes. I woke up, I said slowly, and everyone said it was a miracle. The woman in white nodded. It was not a miracle, it was an exchange. She turned to look at Kofi. "Your husband came to me that night and begged for your life. I gave you back your breath, but every Friday he must sleep with us until his time is finished." My knees grew weak and I fell to the ground. Why didn't he tell me? I cried. Why would he carry this pain alone? The woman's face became calm, like still water. "Because love sometimes walks in the dark, Amma. He did not want you to fear him. He did not want you to feel guilty living the life he bought with his own soul." I looked at Kofi again, anger and love fighting inside my heart. "How much time does he have?" I asked. The woman sighed. 1 year more. After that, his body will lie in a real grave and his spirit will not rise again. The dead do not sleep for free. I wiped my tears and tried to be strong. "If he made the promise, why are you telling me?" I asked. "Can I change anything?" The woman shook her head slowly. "There is a rule in our world. The living must know what they are truly living on, Amma. You are walking on your husband's sacrifice. Amma, you must choose what to do with that truth." Her eyes grew darker. "If you stay silent, the deal will stand. He will die for you in 1 year. If you try to break it, another price must be paid." My heart was beating like thunder. "What other price?" I whispered. The woman only answered, "Nothing leaves the graveyard without giving something back." The woman in white faded slowly until the air swallowed her. I ran to the grave where Kofi was lying. His eyes were closed, his face peaceful like a man in deep sleep. "Kofi," I whispered, shaking him. He jumped up with a scream, sand falling from his hair. When he saw me, his face changed. Fear and shame covered his eyes. "Amma, what are you doing here?" he shouted. His voice broke. I held his arm. "I saw everything," I said. "I know about the promise. I know you sleep in the grave so I can live." His shoulders fell. For a moment, I saw how tired he truly was. In that second, I understood. My husband had been dying slowly for me every Friday. We walked home as the morning birds began to sing. The world looked normal again, but my heart was not the same. In our small house, Kofi sat on the edge of the bed and covered his face. "I wanted to keep this from you," he said. "I wanted you to laugh freely, to dance without thinking of the dead watching you." I knelt in front of him and held his hands. "Tell me everything," I begged. He took a deep breath. "When you were sick, the healer said no medicine could save you. I went to the old graveyard and cried until my voice finished. Then the woman in white appeared. I begged her to take my life and leave you. She refused. Instead, she said my life would be paid bit by bit, 1 Friday at a time." My heart broke and healed at the same time. I saw my husband in a new light. This was not just the man who bought me fish on market days or fixed the roof when it leaked. This was the man who lay with the dead so I could wake up every morning. "Why didn't you tell me when I got better?" I asked softly. He looked at me with tired eyes. "Would you have enjoyed your second chance if you knew I was buying it with my soul?" he asked. I wanted to say yes, but the truth stayed in my throat. I would not have slept. I would not have smiled. I finally understood the kind of love that keeps quiet and bleeds in the dark. From that day, every Friday felt like a knife on my neck. I watched Kofi prepare to go out, washing his face, putting on his simple shirt. But now I knew he was not just going to pray, he was going to meet death. My hands shook as I folded his clothes. Maybe you can stop, I whispered one evening. Maybe the deal will break. He shook his head. That is not how their world works, Amma. If I stop, they will come for you. We do not cheat the grave. Those words followed me everywhere. I stopped enjoying my food. I counted days not with joy but with fear. Every Friday was a reminder that love can hurt more than hate when sacrifice is its language. One day, I went to the old healer, the same man who could not cure me. His small house smelt of herbs and smoke. Baba, I said, I need to understand the world of the dead. He looked at me with wise, tired eyes. You survived, he said slowly, but your survival has a shadow. I told him what I had seen, leaving nothing out. He listened without interrupting. When he finished, he sighed deeply. The woman in white is not evil, he said. She only keeps the balance. When something that should die continues to live, something else must stand in its place. Your husband is that something else. If you want to change this, you must be ready to stand in the grave yourself.
His words felt like hot coal in my ears. Stand in the grave myself? I asked. Do you mean I should die? He shook his head. Not with your body, with your will. The dead respect courage. If you show them you are not afraid to share the pain, they may bend the rules, but they always collect their due. On the way home, my steps were heavy. Birds were singing, children were laughing, but my mind was inside that cold grave. I looked at my hands. They were alive because my husband lay with the dead. That night, as I watched him sleep beside me, I knew something had to change. Love that kills slowly is still a kind of death. Days turned into weeks. The year the woman mentioned was almost over. Kofi's face became thinner. His eyes carried a faraway look. It was like part of him never left the graveyard anymore. I counted the Fridays left on my fingers. 1, 2, 3. Then only one remained. The last one. The one that would take him forever. On the Thursday night before that final Friday, the sky was full of stars. Kofi held my hand tighter than usual. Promise me something, he said. Promise you will live well after I am gone. Do not let my Fridays be wasted. Tears flowed freely down my face. And you promise me something too, I replied. Promise you will not close your eyes without a fight. The final Friday came like a thief. I felt it in my bones. The air was heavier. Even the birds were quiet. When Kofi got ready to leave, I wrapped my cloth around my waist. I am coming with you, I said. He tried to refuse, but my eyes told him I would not change my mind. We walked together under the pale moon, two living souls heading towards the land of the dead. At the graveyard gate, he stopped. You can wait outside, he said softly. No, I replied. This time I will walk with you to the end. We stepped in. The graves looked like silent witnesses, watching us with stone eyes. I felt the woman in white before I saw her. The air grew colder, and a soft glow rose among the tombstones. The woman in white appeared beside the same fresh grave my husband had been using. The time is finished, she said calmly. Tonight, the debt must be paid. Kofi climbed slowly into the grave, his movements weak. I watched, my heart tearing apart. As he lay down, I stepped forward. Wait, I shouted. My voice echoed between the stones. I climbed down into the grave and lay beside my husband. The cold earth pressed against my back. Kofi grabbed my hand in fear. Amma, what are you doing? He cried. I looked up at the woman. If he must go, then I will go with him. If I am alive because of him, then let my life also touch his fate. I refuse to stand on the ground while he sinks below it.
The woman in white stared at us for a long time. The wind held its breath. "Do you know what you are saying, Amma?" she asked. "Yes," I whispered, though my heart was racing. "I will not let love be one-sided. If the dead must take, let them see that my husband is not alone. I am ready to share his pain." She floated closer, her eyes shining. "Many say I love you, but few are willing to lie in a grave to prove it," she said. "The dead respect only truth and courage. You have both." She looked at Kofi. "And you, man, would you let her do this?" Tears ran down his face. "No," he said firmly. "Take me and leave her. I began this, I will finish it." The grave held both our words like secrets.
Suddenly, the wind rose, stronger than before. It swirled around the grave like a storm. Shadows moved between the tombstones, tall and thin. I heard many voices speaking in a language I did not know, yet my spirit understood. They were judging us. They were weighing our hearts. I held Kofi's hand tighter and closed my eyes. Then everything became quiet again. The woman in white raised her hands. "The council has decided," she said slowly. "Love that gives itself freely cannot be punished like selfishness. The debt must still be paid, but it can be paid in another way." My eyes opened wide. "What way?" I asked quickly, hope and fear fighting in my chest. The woman in white's glow became brighter. "We will not take your husband's life," she said, "but the time that was borrowed must be returned. The extra years given to you, Amma, will be taken from the end of your days. You will die earlier than you should have. Not tonight, not tomorrow, but your river will be shorter." I swallowed hard. The thought of dying young scared me, but when I looked at Kofi, I felt peace. "Then let it be so," I said quietly. "I do not want a long life built on his death. I want a true life, however short, shared with him." The woman smiled sadly. "Few speak like this," she murmured. "Remember this night when pain comes. You chose it for love." The ground under us began to warm. The cold left my bones. The dark sky seemed to open, letting in a soft light. "Stand up," the woman said. Kofi and I climbed out of the grave, our bodies shaking. For the first time, he did not look tired. His face looked free, like a man who had just dropped a heavy load. I turned to thank the woman in white, but her image was fading. "Will we ever see you again?" I asked. She shook her head slowly. "Not like this, but on the day your river reaches its end, Amma, I will be there to walk you across. Do not fear that day when it comes. You are not losing life, you are completing a promise." Then she disappeared into the night like mist. We walked home as the sun rose, painting the sky with orange and gold. The village roosters crowed, and smoke rose from cooking fires. Everything looked the same, but nothing was truly the same anymore. We had stood in the grave and come out together. We had looked at death and chosen love. In the days that followed, I started to live differently. I did not waste time on small fights. When Kofi laughed, I laughed louder. When he was tired, I held him longer. We worked on our farm with new strength, knowing each day was a gift, not something we owned. People said we had changed, but they did not know that we had walked through the valley of the shadow and come back holding hands. Now, as I tell you this story, I do not know how many years are left in my river. Maybe many, maybe few, but I am not afraid. I have learned that real love is not only sweet words and smiles. Real love is a choice, sometimes a painful one. It is standing beside someone in their darkest night, even when your own heart is shaking. My husband no longer sleeps in the graveyard. The dead have released him, but their lesson remains with us. So when you say you love someone, your mother, your father, your husband, your wife, your child, ask yourself, can my love stand in the grave if it must? If your answer is yes, then your love is true. If not, learn from our story before the night comes. Thank you for watching.
Please don't forget to subscribe, comment, like, and share for more interesting tales. See you again. Bye.